All right, so today we're going to do a breakdown on our previous video, right? We talked about the concept of homeowner wealth, right? What does that mean? Really for us, again, it's about being able to show homeowners how they can leverage the asset to create equity, to create an opportunity to actually make money from the thing they've been paying into for so long. I see a lot of homeowners, whether it's through insurance, you get a check and you just get a roof done, or an emergency happens and now you have to do an emergency repair and you're just throwing money at your property that you're already spending money on consistently, right? And so today we're going to kind of break this deal down. I know I gave a lot of numbers. And so just to kind of start us off, let's talk about your roof in general, right? Your average shingle roof is going to give you an ROI of somewhere around 60 to 70% of that investment, right? So let's say 60 to 70%. So in this property that we're talking about, it was a $50,000 investment. So a $50,000 roof for them, right? In addition to that. Now, another thing you want to look at is not only the direct ROI on what you spend, but also the ROI on appraisal value. Now, the average roof on a high-end home, right, you're looking to be somewhere around 5 to 15% of increased appraisal value. So now let's kind of break the deal down, right? Now that we kind of see these numbers, right? So we know that the roof, the cost of the roof was $50,000. Now they were insurance based, so this was a insurance claim, right? This homeowner, their deductible was $2,000. So they had a $2,000 deductible, right? So let's kind of get in deeper on that. So let's just say this homeowner owed $600,000 on their home, right? So and let's say this current home was worth $700,000 as it is with the roof that in its current condition. This roof was about is about a 10 to 12-year-old roof, right? And so you're talking minimal upgrades. You don't have the underlayments. You don't have the warranties. And so look at it from that perspective as well. So this roof was slightly aged. So we're going to say current home value is $700,000. All right, so you see these numbers. So let's kind of break this down, right? So we're saying that on a $700,000 roof, that your average appraisal value is going to increase anywhere between 5 to 15%. So let's just say we take 7%. 7%, 700,000 is going to put you right about $50,000. So that means now this homeowner goes from a home that's worth $700,000 to $750,000, just based off the low end average of appraisal value. Now we say they owed $600,000. $600,000. Previously, we look at just this number here. You're going to say, they had $100,000 in current equity. Now they've got $150,000 in equity. That's a nice number, right? You're automatically jumping immediate equity gain. But that's not even the best part. So now if we kind of break it down from there, you're saying that with this homeowner, a $2,000 investment gets them $50,000 in return nearly, right? That's about a 25x ROI. Huge return. If I told you that I could get you a 25x return on any investment, pretty sure that's an investment you would want to make. But let's kind of break down from there to say, because it's very, these aren't it's not tight factual, right? There's variance to this, right? The home, the neighborhood you're in, the home's value that you have, right? These types of things can play a little bit of a difference. But let's talk about like the intrinsic values, right? First off, if you're listing a home with a brand new roof, right? The curb appeal. So you got major curb appeal, right? You know, the roof in your siding, the exterior of the home, a lot of times is actually one of the last things you see people renovate, but it's the first thing that people see, right? 40% of people see a roof and siding as the first thing they see. That's why it's important that, you know, you're investing in not only products that are going to be best for the home, but best for those aesthetics as well, right? So you're talking curb appeal. The next is the next owner's investment, right? Think about that from their side. If they're coming in to buy a house that's worth $700,000 and the first thing they got to do is put a $50,000 roof on it, that's a big investment. And I think one of the third things that's extremely important, this is why, you know, going with the right contractors, is the warranty that comes with it, right? And so with us, we are Master Elite. That means that we are 2% of contractors actually get Master Elite certified nationwide through GAF. What that means is that our warranties are actually backed by GAF. Therefore, if we go out of business in 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, whatever happens, hopefully that never happens, right? But you're not at risk saying, man, now I have this roof done and there's issues, whether it's manufacturer, whether it's labor issues, and now I can't get anyone to reach out to, no one to call. GAF actually backs that warranty. And with this homeowner, they actually went with an upgraded shingle, a Class 4 impact shingle. That means they're getting a 30-year warranty as well. So it's even extended warranty from there. Now let's talk about more on the negative side, right? From a negative side, I don't think anybody wants to have an ugly home, right? When you live in it, you don't think about it as much because it's over your head. But when someone's coming to look at your house, the first thing they see is shingles blown up or the roof super faded. Again, their first thought's gonna be like, we're gonna have to upgrade that, especially if we're gonna be buying this nice house. I don't wanna have to put money into that being the first thing. The other side of it is even just an older roof isn't gonna have those upgrades. It's not gonna have those premium signature materials that you're gonna have from a brand new roof, right? You don't have that longevity. You're not having that transferable warranty as well. And then I'd say another big part of it, just like we talked about down here, is like they don't have that after cost if you buy it, right? If you take care of that roof. Where with, you know, if someone's coming in to have to buy this roof or have to put a roof on this brand new house, that's gonna be the first thing, a large cost up front. And so, you know, we go through all of these numbers, but to really, you know, help to understand it, the biggest part is that there's a lot of ways that you can leverage your home so that it's not just this liability. You know, you hear people out there talk about it. You know, Grant Cardone, he mentions that, you know, a home is one of the biggest liabilities that you can have, right? You know, homeowners all the time, they're fed this American dream idea. And the American dream idea is like, you know, graduate school, you know, get a job, buy this house, and next thing they know, they buy a house at the top of the market. There's no equity, and so the only way to ever create leverage from that home is being able to pay down that debt over time and eventually create some equity in that home. Now, if you find a house that you can buy that, you know, doesn't necessarily have all the upgrades, maybe there's an opportunity to improve it, now you can kind of create that equity. And so our goal is to help you as homeowners to learn how to leverage this, you know, turn your home into a vehicle, turn it into an asset, turn it into an investment, right? When you get into more strategic ways of, you know, I like to call it like a double funding model, right? And we'll explain that in later videos, but it's ways to leverage, you know, the insurance that pays you as well as financing. And now you can take that same money that you would have just put on the roof with no ROI other than the home itself, right? Like we're talking about here, they're still getting that ROI, but what if you could take that same money and put that into another investment, right? You know, you can really start to look at your house as becoming I like to call it a strategic homeowner, right? It's a real estate investment. You know, real estate makes more millionaires than anything. And so many people want to get into that space and they're looking at doing house hacks and flipping. And it's like, you have an opportunity in your home to leverage that equity right now and turn that into an investment vehicle, whether it's taking that money and investing in something else, right? And so in future videos, we're going to walk through and say, all right, cool. Now we got this equity gain, right? We've got $50,000 in equity gain here, but like, now what can I do with that $50,000? That's going to be coming next.